coming into the speech, I am very much glad to invite our Sky Professor Ilamurugu Sekar sir from Bahrain to present this evening English spiritual session on the topic Eradication of Worries. Anger is an evil emotion that wells up when desires are thwarted. Worry arises when anger fails to serve its purpose. To understand the finer aspects, we are glad to invite Professor Sir. Professor Ilamurugu Sekar Sir is a mechanical engineering graduate and also done Masters of Business Administration from University of Madras. Sir has done his diploma in yoga for human excellence and rendering his divine service since 2007. Adopted a village in Pondicherry and one more shortly to impart the Vethathiri concepts to village community under the WCSC Village Service Project. He is working as area sales manager in hydro building systems for the past 20 years in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Professor Ilamurugu Sekar sir was one of the charter member of the TASCA, Tamil Social and Cultural Association, Toastmaster, and did several projects and served as an office bearer during his tenure. He also used to do counseling using Vethathiri concepts for deprived souls and revived them to highly self-motivated individuals. He is planning to pursue higher education to the psychological and cognitive therapy. His great ambitions to serve the human community at large through WCSC to achieve the mission of world peace. Now, I would request Professor Ilamurugu Sekar sir to deliver his speech on the topic Eradication of Worries. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். குரு வாழ்க, குருவே துணை. Be blessed by the divine power. Be blessed by the divine power. May the whole world enjoy happiness, prosperity, and peace. Sometimes before, I read a short story about the king of comedians, the silent king, in other words, Charlie Chaplin, addressing a gallery of audience, spelling about a joke. The moment they gazed him, the whole audience were uproaring with laughter when he shared the joke. But then it did not stop, kept continuing. The second time when he recited the same joke, yes, there was laughter, but not to the first extent. Again, the third time, he has continued the same joke, and this time there wasn't much of laughter. And when it was repeated, the same joke for the fourth time, absolute silence was there. Then he raised a question: why, if you cannot laugh for the same joke repeated several times, and why would you cry or moan for worries if you've been hearing the same or listening or thinking of the worries for several times, but still you keep crying? Thought-provoking, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Swamiji, having a very soft approach in everything, in any of his speech, he never even uttered something harsh tone. But why only he has to keep a title called Eradication of Worries, while all the rest of the three, when you go for the introspection, of course for those who are beginners, what we impart the Vethathiri in Manavala Kala is we try to teach the simplified physical exercise to start with, followed by Kaya Kalpa, then comes meditation, followed by the introspection, leading towards sublimation. Now, in this introspection, the first title what Swamiji used to teach is analysis of thoughts, a soft note, moralization of desires, then comes neutralization of anger, and the last one is eradication of worries. Yes, indeed, it has to be eradicated. It is as good as any disease like contagious. Even you can consider like corona, for example, or AIDS. It has to be eradicated to the root. Why is it so? Today, we're going to go through what are the reasons for worrying and what mental states that aggravates the worries, symptoms of worries, reason behind the worries, the ill effects of worries, problems and worries, what is the difference, essential of eradicating worries, and what are the 4 different types of worries, and finally eradication of worries as a practice. Because anything Swamiji says, there is a methodological approach and a practical solution to how to eradicate the worries, and this applies to anyone, a literate, illiterate, a beggar, rich, poor, whatsoever. Having born as a human being, you are imbibed with problems, but however, it is your choice whether to lead a life without worries. Let's move down with the PowerPoint presentation just to elucidate in detail. Let's see what are the worries first. At first, worries are nothing but lack of confidence that comes in the way of the ability to face or solve a physical or a mental problem, which means we have an ability to do something, for example, but when we oversee ourselves or overestimate or over expect something to do much more than the ability or the physical resources which we have got, or even mental resources, and to achieve something, then there is some lag behind the worries. I mean, how much we can do it and what is the extent in reality you can do. So worries are born when desires are thwarted or shunned, or when anger fails to find an expression by itself. So anything which you try to shun or like an anger, then it transforms to the worries. Of course, worries in the scientific terms, they call it as psychosomatic diseases, which leads to some psychological problems as well. Then worries drain the energy much like a pulley drawing water from a well. This is very much evident. Many of us could have experienced this in their real-time life. The single thought of a worry, however you are strong enough, with all the positive vibes around you, with a single worry, it can drain in a moment. I would rather even like to quote what Bharadiyar used to say in Tamil, Nallador Veenai Seiden, Adai Nalan Keda Purudiyil Yerivadando. Meaning, after constructing or forming a musical instrument, making out of difficult craftsmanship, which each and every masterpiece of the finest craft you can do, nobody will trash it into a dustbin. Likewise, we try to conserve the energy. I mean, our whole system of Sky Yoga, simplified Kundalini Yoga, revolves around the conservation or intensification of the biomagnetism of the energy by doing the physical exercises, Kaya Kalpa, and meditation. But what if we try not to practice this one? This worry will drain the energy completely in one go. So you have to be very careful on this. Let's see what are the reasons behind the worries and what is the difference between an expectation and reality. As I told earlier, like if you can lift, let's say, a 10 kg of some object, and then you're trying for 11, 12, yes, but not for a 25 or 30, well, you know that you have a limitation by yourself, which can be a resource or a talent or whatsoever. So you try to miscalculate by yourself and then try to overdo. Then comes the mental state that aggravates the worries. What is happening in worries? You naturally get dejected, you feel incapable to do anything, lack of self confidence, fear, unworthiness, so on and so forth. Then, what is the physical ailments due to worries? Of course, the physical ailments is what you can see over there is the impurities in the mind, no clarity of thoughts, confusion to take any decision, and problems adding over and above. Then, what are the worries or the mental traps? The reason behind the worries, if you try to analyze further, it's nothing because of the anger, vengeance, jealous, hatred, greed, inordinate sex desire, boastfulness, unworthy feeling, fear, and craze for the power. Now, what are the ill effects of worries is, as we have seen earlier, the mental and the physical strength besides go waste. However, you are trying to fine tune, enhance your mental faculty to a highest level, when because of worries everything is drained. And physically you will be prone to have a blood pressure, indigestion, peptic ulcer, headache, breathlessness on long run. Now, Swamiji has gone into this analysis and he has given so much of insight knowledge how to approach it and how we can try to eradicate the worries, step by step methodology. Definitely we have to do the planning process. Be aware, sustained and constant awareness is required. The third one is the introspection, which is now we are going to go in depth. Then, how is the essential, why it is essential to eradicate the worries? See, the knowledge regarding the nature of laws has to be understood. Imagine if you are dreaming something which is against the will of law of nature, it is not going to happen. There is some sort of a rational thinking, or the thought process has to be rationalized, and that's the reason why we start with the analysis of thoughts, so that you can try to shun it at the first level itself. Then awareness regarding the principles of the cause and effect, that is the basis of the karma yogic life. Of anything which you're going to do has its own cause and effect, and what we are now undergoing, it is because of somebody's bad thoughts or illful thoughts due to our ancestral ancestors. Then improvement in thinking abilities, followed by the self-confidence, courage, and the sustained efforts. So you need to have a sustained effort to overcome this worries. And why you need to avoid worries is you have to avoid magnifying the problem. Sometimes it doesn't really worth effort, but people try to magnify. It's like seeing an object or a small object like an ant or something like close to an eye, it is going to be magnified, while it is in reality it is going to be a very small element. And avoid interfering in others' affairs unduly, and not to avoid responsibilities. This is much more to be emphasized on. Many of us try to neglect or discharge the responsibility to others so that it will be passed on, but it never happens, and it adds to another problems and leads to worries. And worries and wisdom. Worries come in the way of spiritual progress. It will definitely hamper your spiritual progress. The essence of the purpose of living is to liberate and attain wisdom and knowledge. But this will hamper the progress in the spirituality. And when it comes to the worries and duty consciousness, worries are different from the duty consciousness. Yes, you will not be able to render your duty properly. With lack of energy, lack of consciousness, you will tend another mistake, and then adding to the another semblance. Then problems should not be ignored for the sake of avoiding worries. So these are the things which you have to focus on. Then what are the four types of worries as narrated by Swamiji is like problems to be faced such as the chronic ailments. You have to, sometimes you cannot get rid of it. Imagine a polio attack child, if it has happened, then you have to face it, see what is this, how you can overcome or how to blend the situation and then to move forward rather than pondering on the same thing. Imagine tsunami has happened and we have come over. There is no point in looking on to the same thing. Likewise, problems that has to be kept in abeyance or should be postponed or leave it to the society or later part of, rather than trying to solve it at once. Example could be a daughter's marriage. We've been seeing like parents have been mourning on several occasions on this one, but you have to be patient. And also employment of a son is another example given by Swamiji on this aspect. And what types of four types of worries given here is like problems to be ignored. Example is the comments and jealous remarks and actions. It could be anything. I had a very short story to include here. One of my friend has narrated that his nephew was a very good student in college, has one remark from the professor while rendering her viva voce, although she is very brilliant, but it's so that particular comment which really provoked her, and it took nearly 1.5 years to come out of the depression because she was worrying for such a comment. Possibly the person was not done intentionally, or it could have done to give a positive encouragement, but the way in which you took it could have been avoided. As an example, I meant to say. Then problems to be solved immediately. Example is sitting depths. It is very crucial, and need for a surgery, emergency aspect. For example, any wound or something like that, you should not leave it like this so as to create furthermore problems. Partition of a property, for example. Then comes the eradication of worries as a practice. We'll try to go detail into this one. Swamiji has done a very clear classification he has given us to make a tabulation of, you list it down after your meditation, for example, sit it down, write down a piece of paper, put the serial number in a tabulation, and then list down the worries. Then classify them to be faced or kept in abeyance, or to be ignored, or to be solved immediately. Prioritize the worries. Classify them based on the above divisions given. And most importantly, attend to the ones to be solved immediately and take care of the others according to the priority. Wherein analyze all your earlier experiences. And this is where sometimes we used to say, eyes can provide the sight, only mind can provide the vision. How you can tame the mind is to do a meditation, bring the mind to a subtle frequency. Then at one stage, when you mute everything, the inner clairvoyance will give you solution to the problems. There could be no individual without problem in this world, but at least we can live without worries if only we can make an attempt towards it. I would like to conclude this with a short Tirukural. தனக்குவமை இல்லாதான் தாள் சேர்ந்தார் கல்லால் மனக்கவலை மாற்றல் அரிது. They alone escape the anxieties of the mind who seek refuge in the Peerless One. What is the Peerless One? Is the eternity. It is the divine. It's almighty. So if at all you are able to seek a refuge within the divine, deep into the divine, you can never escape out of the anxieties. So let us all try to practice this and try to lead a life without worries and sustain the peace within us, spread across to the family, to the state, nation, and worldwide, and accomplish the dream of our Swamiji. Be blessed by the divine. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Be blessed by the divine. On behalf of all the listeners, we thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech with sparkling thoughts to eradicate the worries through introspection of Vedathriam with relevant examples and beautiful Kural. Thank you once again, sir. Now we move on to the important announcements. Owing to the COVID-19 pandemic, need of the hour is to enhance your immune system. Kayakalpa Yoga of our sky system predominantly supports to improve your immunity and overall well-being. For those who have not signed up yet, right away please visit kayakalpayoga.edu.in and kindly register for the course or download the Android app. Vision for Wisdom. WCSC is conducting online degrees, foundation courses, and certification programs in English, Tamil, and Kannada. Please visit kundaliniyoga.edu.in for further queries. Our monthly journal, Anboli, also available in Android app. You may download the Anboli app for the Android Play Store. Get access to the premium content of Swamiji speeches. Also connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Sky Yoga TV to listen to all the past speeches of our professors on various aspects of Sky Yoga. Karma Yoga principles of Vedathriam suggest donating 1% of income to the good causes of the society. Be generous, donate to the World Community Service Center. There are multiple channels to do that, either through the Anboli app or our official website, vethathiri.edu.in. Please be informed that Section 80G IT exemption could be availed for these donations. It is time for us to express our gratitude. Let's come into Duriya state for blessing. Blessings to our Professor Ilamurugu Sekar, sir, for his thoughtful speech. Be blessed by the divine. His good health. Be blessed by the divine. His loving family. Be blessed by the divine. His divine service. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you, sir. We are immensely blessed for having you with us today. And please keep enlightening us with such wonderful wisdom from time to time. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thanks for the opportunity.
வாழ்க வளமுடன், sir. We are happy to share the schedule of tomorrow's online programs live from All Temple of Consciousness. Morning 5:15 a.m. 9 Center meditation in Tamil. At 6 a.m. exercise in Tamil. At 7 a.m. 9 Center meditation in English. At 11 a.m. speech in Tamil by Professor Asai Ayya from Chennai on the topic Varam. Evening programs at 6 p.m. Duriya meditation in Tamil. At 6:30 p.m. Tamil speech by Professor Arutselvi ma'am from Salem on the topic Nalladoru Kudumbam. English program details 8 p.m. Duriya meditation in English. 8:15 p.m. speech in English by Professor Venkatalakshmi ma'am on the topic Secrets of Happiness. Please share the program, invite and the website details and with your friends and relatives. Let them all take part in the spiritual journey and get benefited. Please note that the meetings are password enabled and to join the online Zoom, the password is Aliyar. We thank our beloved President Arulnidhi Batmashri S.K. Mailanandan sir for his leadership, continuous support and guidance. Let's be back again tomorrow. Till then, stay safe and keep practicing our Kundalini Yoga. This is Kasturi Sridhar from Aliyar World Community Service Center IT team. Be blessed by the divine. Let us now conclude the session with world blessing. May the world be blessed with plenty of rain. The farmers work to produce an abundance of grain. Let practitioners of all prosper, flourish, and grow, and culture progress through the need to share and grow. Let the rulers be beyond feelings of anger or fear, illiteracy, poverty, and all evils made to disappear. Let the true lamp of knowledge burn steady and bright. Our sense of duty guides us along paths always right. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Good night to all.